Greetings! Welcome, Carolina Chef here with Simple Cooking Made Simple on YouTube. Today is a special day for me. I asked my son the other day, hey, what do you want for your birthday? And instead of saying presents or toys or whatever else, he said, Dad, I want a cinnamon toast crunch cake. I was like, what? I've never even heard of it. So what did I do? Okay, we'll see what we can do. So my plan was to make a cake from scratch, and then when I was looking up Cinnamon Toast Crunch cereal, what did I find? They actually have a cake mix. But you know, I can't just use a cake mix and not do something to make it doctor it up. So keep watching this video to find out what other ingredients I put in there to doctor this cake up to make it so much more better and more moist. I will tell you this. I am not a baker. I'm not a decorator. I'll do my best. I'm definitely not a baker. I'm more of a chef because I like to add a little of this, add a little of that. But you can't do that when you're baking because a lot of times you have to have that right measurements for it to come out just right. But I hope you guys enjoy this video. Watch the full thing to find out all the little details and little tricks. All the information will be in the description below. And let's play. Let's get started. We have a cinnamon toast crunch cake today. Funny stuff. And we are using Betty Crocker cake mix cinnamon toast crunch. So we're going to try this, see how good it is. So we're going to start with one package, and it's going to make 2 9-inch pans. We're going to add that in there like so. And then we're going to add, calls for 1 cup water, but I'm using 1 cup heavy cream. And so that fat in there, I'm hoping that'll keep it nice and moist. So there's our 1 cup of heavy cream. We have a 1/2 cup of oil. And I'm using vegetable. And then we got 3 eggs. 3 large eggs. And I guess I'm pretty sure you guys that bake have noticed the nice egg price, but it does look like it's coming down just a little bit. So we're going to mix this on medium. And you don't want to over mix this because when you over mix it, sometimes it can be dry. So we're going to just get a good mix for probably about a minute on medium. And then we're going to split it between our 2 pans. We're going to stick it in the oven on 350 degrees. So let's get this sucker a-moving. And maybe start it out a little slower than I did so it doesn't do like what it just did. But this smells really good. It's got a nice cinnamon flavor smell to it. So I'm going to stop this, lower, and we're going to scrape these edges to make sure we're getting all the dry mix in. And you want to go down to the bottom as well because sometimes that doesn't get mixed up. And that's it. So pretty fast. And you want to, on the instructions, it says to grease the bottom. So I already took a stick of butter and just kind of rubbed it around in both pans. Now if you're using a glass dish, it says to cook it on 325. And that's because the glass dish holds a little bit more heat than these pans. I'm going to try to spread this out as even as possible. And then you just want to kind of take your spatula and try to get this to even out. And like I said, we are using a 9-inch cake pan. And you don't want to beat on this because you want to keep those air bubbles in there. So we're going to stick this in the oven at 350 for about 24 to 29 minutes. We'll stick a toothpick in the middle to make sure it's done. So once you stick that toothpick in there, if it comes out clean, you're good to go. If it comes out with some batter or some little crumbs on it or whatnot, you know you need to cook it for a little bit longer. So we just pulled them out. and it took exactly 24 minutes. So make sure you do a heated pan. Put the toothpick in, come out super clean. So we're gonna let these cool for a little bit, and then once we let them cool, we'll flip them, and then we'll start icing. So for the icing, we're doing a cream cheese butter icing, and we're gonna add 2 teaspoons of vanilla, a third of a cup of brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of cinnamon, and then a half teaspoon of salt. I'm using 6 cups of powdered sugar, 2 sticks of butter, and 2 8-ounce packages of cream cheese. So we're going to start out with the butter and the cream cheese, and you want to beat this so it's super smooth. So let's get this in there. Using a paddle for this. Smells so good. So I'm going to stop it there. I'm going to scrape the sides and let it go for a little bit longer, just to make sure we have everything mixed nicely. Oops. So make sure that you push this little doodad up so you're actually mixing it. Now I'm going to add the vanilla, the brown sugar, cinnamon, and salt. And the reason we added the cinnamon and the brown sugar is just kind of to give the icing a little bit of the taste of the cake as well. So we're going to add our powdered sugar in a little bit at a time, and we're going to do this on a medium-low speed.
Looks like it dropped some.
So we're going to stop, pull it down, and let's scrape our. And then we're going to mix this up, the rest of it. Get all that powdered sugar mixed in. We are good. Your hands may get a little messy, but it'll be all right. Let's do a little taste test. It's holding good. It smells so good. Oh, wow. That is good stuff. Yum. If the cake wasn't good enough by itself, this is going to make it so much better. Oh, that's good stuff. All right, now we'll get ready to start icing our cake once I clean up this little snow. So first we're going to start with putting a little bit of icing here. And this is just to help the cake stay on here. So just enough to let that not move around. So we're going to pop that out. And I'll tell you guys something, little secret. I am not a cake decorator. So, we'll see how this goes. We're going to put a little there, and some there. And then I'm going to try to just spread this evenly. Man, this smells really good. Like I said, I'm not a professional when it comes to decorating cakes. Be nice if I had a little spin wheel, like some cake decorators. I think that right there works for me. It's not 100%, but it's mostly so once the other cake comes on, it kind of helps spread that out. Bada boom, bada boom. And this cake cooked up really nice. It turned out super even, so I'm not having to cut part of the top off to make it even. So it turned out real good that way. guys, this comes the tricky part for me. Just trying to make sure this is even. So I'm gonna let this sit in the refrigerator overnight, and I'm gonna go ahead and get my pipe ready, my pastry brush, put this in there so it gets cold, and then we'll go around the cake to make it look pretty, and then we'll do the Cinnamon Toast Crunch cereal on it to kind of decorate. So we have our pastry brush with our icing. We're just gonna go around the edges. We'll take and crush up our Cinnamon Toast Crunch, put that in the middle, and then we'll put some around the edges so it'll look a lot better, be nicely decorated. So it's the next day. I pulled our cake out of the refrigerator, and I've already kind of started putting some of the Cinnamon Toast Crunch around the edges. So you just want to start at the bottom and just push it in. And then also try to make sure that you're getting full size pieces. If you got any cracked ones or whatnot, just set those to the side because we'll use those when we put them in the food processor for the top of the cake. You just want to gently push these in. So that's all you want to do for around the cake. Or you could just take some crumbles and kind of push them in around the side, but that's what I was originally going to do. But then I was thinking, well, might look kind of cool with the Cinnamon Toast Crunch, actually leave it whole and just put it all around the edge, because that icing will act as a binder and just go around all around your cake. And it worked out actually really good because perfect going all the way around. You definitely don't want to do this the day before. If you do, they may fall off and then also get soggy. And it's Cinnamon Toast Crunch, so you definitely want a crunch when you're taking a bite. And just kind of go around just to make sure all of them's in there good. In the food processor, and we're going to just kind of sprinkle that on top of our cake. And now it is time to enjoy. This cake should be nice and moist because we put that extra heavy cream in it instead of water, so that fat will help keep the moisture in the cake. So the eggs and oil. So the more fat you have in it, the better off it's going to be. If you do see that your cake's getting dry, you can always make a nice little simple syrup, which is half sugar, half hot water. Make sure it dissolves, and you can kind of brush it on top. You can even poke little holes in it just to make sure that it's good and moist. But this cake, I think it's going to turn out really great. I can't wait for my boy to see it. We want to thank you guys for watching this video, and thanks to all of our subscribers and friends and the people who have been supporting us, like Brink of Speed, Bear W. Daylily Farm. So make sure you go check those guys out. I'll have their channels in the description so you can go check them out. One, if you like Corvettes, Brink of Speed's for you. He's also got a Camaro on there. Very great graphics. He does an excellent job. And then Bear W. Daylily Farm is a farm that my parents actually own. And then my dad just kind of tells you stories and stuff that's going on the farm day to day here and there. He has gardening tips. They'll show their daylilies. They have about 1,500 varieties. So make sure you go check them out. But please make sure you do the 3 S's. Smash that like button if you haven't yet. Subscribe and share with your friends and family. And then also click that little bell at the top so you get our notifications when we post a new video. But thanks so much, and God bless.